He'd bounce around in the living room trying to mimic Sonic's jumps, and it was, well, disturbing. No, you gotta roll up into a ball. He's gonna try and break his neck, watch.
Gotta go fast.
Hello friends, Trace Amounts of Science. Today we're back with another Neckbeard tale. This time it's a sort of a creepy Uncle Neckbeard. Don't worry, nothing too bad happens. But the secondhand embarrassment is sure to crumple your spine. So let's jump on into it, shall we? Uncle Sonic. Gotta go fast. So I had this uncle who was obsessed with Sonic the Hedgehog. And it was not all fun and games like you'd expect. Yeah, I thought we'd just be collecting golden rings, eating some chili dogs. No. He took his love for Sonic to a whole new level, and it was beyond creepy. He'd refer to himself as Uncle Sonic and asked that we also referred to him as Uncle Sonic. And yeah, it was all just so cringeworthy. I mean, it's a good start, I'll give you that much. I just want to know what the deal is with Sonic the Hedgehog. It does something to people on like a primal level. I'm pretty sure Sonic the Hedgehog is dark magic of some sort.
Don't even ask.
He'd often wear a shabby Sonic costume, insisting that it was just for laughs. Not dressed just as any Sonic, mind you, but a version that seemed to have crawled right out of the uncanny valley. Imagine an oversized Sonic mask with his eyes peeking through and a slightly off-pitch Sonic voice. Yeah, it was weird. Yeah, I think I had this Halloween costume when I was a little kid. I had a golden ring, and I'd run around for about 100 feet because I was about the fattest little Sonic you ever saw.
Here is me back in the day.
Here is me now! Oh no!
It all began innocently enough, with him showing up to a family gathering dressed as a disturbingly unconvincing Sonic the Hedgehog. I mean, even if it was convincing, you'd be freaked out to see fucking Sonic the Hedgehog show up, wouldn't you? Like the CGI version.
Gotta go fast.
He'd just be walking around the house, wearing a costume, trying to strike Sonic's poses. Oh, like the one where he looks over his shoulder and gives you a thumbs up? How about the title screen one where he pops up and like wags his finger at you? He'd try to talk and act like Sonic, making these bizarre attempts at imitating the character's voice and movements. It was all so cringy. Like the Sonic cartoon, right? Sonic's voice in that cartoon is just Steve Urkel. It's Steve Urkel's voice, Jaleel White. And I don't really understand how Sonic acts. I guess like too cool for school, but too cool for school works a lot better when you're not wearing a Wish.com Sonic costume. Or Shein, or Temu, or wherever the hell these Chinese manufacturers moved to on the internet. He'd bounce around in the living room trying to mimic Sonic's jumps, and it was, well, disturbing. No, you gotta roll up into a ball. He's gonna try and break his neck, watch.
Gotta go fast.
I caught him running around the backyard in these ridiculous blue sneakers. Sonic sneakers aren't even blue, what the fuck? Arms stretched behind him like he's about to take off. And that's from Naruto. He's all mixed up. I mean, we knew that already, but God, it's even worse than I thought. Now, my uncle wasn't content with just the costume. Oh no. He decided that we needed to live out some weird Sonic roleplay, with him as the star, of course. I call Big the cat. So he starts assigning roles to all of us, like some twisted, low-budget, Sonic-themed play. This is horribly weird. How old is he at this time? How old are you? He just tells you what to say, and you say it to him, and he's like, oh yeah, that's real good. He'd start rearranging our furniture to mimic some kind of Sonic obstacle course. And he keeps getting us to try and play along. I mean, who does that? Uncle Sonic, I guess. This is really out there, bro. It's not like the normal type of cringe either. where it's got like some sexual undertones or something. No, he's legitimately just a really weird guy. He'd try to engage me in these weird Sonic-themed role plays where he'd be Sonic and I'd have to play along as his sidekick.
Well, actually, Sonic has quite a few sidekicks. You could be Tails the Fox or Knuckles the Echidna. There's also a pink girl hedgehog and a lady bat, but I call Big the cat. I said it already.
It was all just so uncomfortable. And I remember feeling this sense of embarrassment and awkwardness every time he would start with his Sonic antics. Have you talked to your parents about this? Could they ask him not to come? He'd assign me a character and insist we act out the scenes from the Sonic game, running around the house and pretending to be on these strange adventures. I'm pretty sure this uncle has special needs. I mean, it's kind of wholesome that he's trying to interact with the kids and stuff like that, I guess. But it comes to a point where it's gone too far, and apparently that point is dressing up like a blue hedgehog. I just can't sign off on it. I felt like I was being dragged into this weird world that I really wanted no part of. Doesn't matter. Uncle Sonic wants a part of it. And maybe I would grant that to him, because apparently he doesn't fit in here at all. He'd sprint around the living room, or at least attempt to, while we awkwardly followed his lead and tried our best to keep up with his strange Sonic voice and mannerisms. God, dude. We were jumping over imaginary loops and dodging invisible enemies, all while trying not to bump into the furniture or each other. As the roleplay progressed, he started getting uncomfortably touchy. And there it is. God damn it! I thought we were gonna get through one without that!
No! Don't come there, you pervert!
Well, I was gonna go this way. Why? I thought I was gonna say creepy uncle, and then everybody would be like, oh, it was a completely different kind of creepy that you meant. No. It's always like this for some reason. I'm hurt. I'm in pain now. Ugh. Uncle Sonic even tried attempting to pull me into awkward hugs that left me feeling trapped and violated. Yeah, you definitely need to talk to your parents about this.
But if someone tries to touch you in a place or in a way that makes you feel uncomfortable, that's no good.
He'd whisper strange, unnerving lines in my ear, trying to mimic Sonic. Alright, I explained to you what a chili dog actually is. Now let me tell you all about a hot Carl. They're children. Please fucking stop. Then, of course, Uncle Sonic began hitting on the female guests, making them feel super uncomfortable. I saw the looks of shock and disbelief on their faces as they desperately tried to evade his advances. And that's not even the worst part. He took it a step further. He was making these grand, over-the-top declarations of love, asking the women to marry him right then and there. He kept spouting lines about being the fastest lover in the world, and how marrying him would bring them eternal chaos and joy. Fastest lover in the world probably is accurate. He's probably heard that one before, actually. As far as bringing chaos, yeah, probably, but he's not using it in the way it's meant to be used. He thinks it's a synonym of joy. He just knows that the emeralds are called Chaos Emeralds, and Sonic really wants them. So if I call myself chaotic, chicks will want me. Perfect logic. Perfect. He'd start asking the women if they wanted to pet the hedgehog, and tried to encourage them to feel his bare chest. What? You stick your hand in the costume. Oh, it's real sweaty in there, right? I hate this. Opie says, I know it's beyond cringe. And it is. And the whole thing was a cringe fest of cosmic proportions. He started hitting on the ladies, making unsettling remarks about chaos and love. And wait for it, asked them to pet his Sonic thing. What's the Sonic thing? Like a chow chow? That's what those little things are called, right? I used to have one on like a Dreamcast memory cartridge. It was sort of like a Tamagotchi. Does anybody know what I'm talking about? Chow Garden or something like that? I'm so glad I didn't get this deep into Sonic. Obviously, I've had some run-ins. I'll play it with the kids. But turning it into a lifestyle, man, that's just a bridge too far. Please never do this. The discomfort in the room was, of course, palpable as he pranced about, making inappropriate requests and insisting that petting his Sonic thing would bring good luck. I really want to know what the Sonic thing is. Is it just like his dick? Can we not say that?
Oh yeah, I have OCD, oversized cock disorder.
I wish I could say I made that up, but yeah, I'm not that creative. It was as uncomfortable and disturbing as it sounds. He began hovering around the female guests, making them visibly uncomfortable. He'd sidle up behind them, breathing heavily, as if he was trying to channel his inner Sonic the Hedgehog or something equally bizarre. The women were visibly disturbed, trying to politely back away, and the men were torn between wanting to protect the women and not causing a scene. Fuck not causing a scene. Always protect the women. I'll shoot him dead right here. Has he collected 100 rings? Does he have an extra life? I'm willing to go to jail finding out. It was like witnessing a car crash in slow motion. You can't look away, but you can't believe what you're seeing either. Dude, I really want a video of this. I'm pretty sure it's a shitpost, but it certainly paints a picture. The women were understandably horrified and repelled, trying their best to avoid his advances. Some of them even left the party completely, unable to stomach the sheer weirdness of it all. My parents were mortified, trying to do some damage control and apologize on his behalf. Now, I try to avoid any mentions of Sonic, and even seeing anything related to it makes me uncomfortable, reminding me of those cringe-worthy family gatherings. This happened multiple years in a row? Was it just 1 year that he decided he wanted to be Sonic the Hedgehog? I scrolled down to the comments trying to find out how old he is, and you guys will be shocked. OP says, this isn't in present tense anymore. He was in his late 40s, early 50s at the time these incidents took place. He died of some STD he caught at a furry party or something. I don't believe you. What is this? This is completely outside my frame of reference. I'm having a very hard time wrapping my head around it. But if he's real, if he is, I'm glad he's dead, honestly. That is the universe doing all of us a favor. I got a long list of things to worry about, but Uncle Sonic is no longer on it. He crossed himself off at a furry party. It's too wild. I guess the furry thing kind of makes it a little bit more believable, actually. What a post. Uncle Sonic's a maniac. But we'll jump into something new and probably equally disturbing right now. My experience with a neckbeard. Oh, unfortunate. Every time unfortunate. Hey Reddit, I've been watching a lot of old Q-Star videos and thought, why not share my story with a neckbeard? Hey, why not? Also, what the hell happened to Q-Star? I guess he's just trying to do that, filthy Frank to Joji transition, but if I recall, his band's pretty good. Although I'm partial to Midwestern emo, so take that with a grain of salt. I can't recall the name at the moment. It's driving me crazy. Whatever. Somebody in the comments might let me know. What's the last things he posted? Like Boogie. Yeah, Boogie got to him, dude. You gotta watch out. If you walk past Boogie's front yard, he will shoot you with a gun. I'm off in the weeds already. Okay, I'll start with some prefaces. Neckbeard will be referred to as NB, and I will be referred to either by my username or I, me, my pronouns. I'm just gonna call you OP. I'm also female to male transgender, and these events mostly happen before transitioning. These events happen in the 2018 to 2019 school year. Neckbeard is also black, and this will become relevant as I describe some of his antics. And he was also adopted by well-off white parents. I'll give a content warning for intimate harassment and generally creepy behavior, as we do expect when we get into Neckbeard stories a lot of times. So when I was 13 and in 8th grade, I hung out with a lot of kids in band and theater. I was a theater kid. Oh boy, I'm having flashbacks to Funky P-Beard right now. There's no buckets of poop and pee and boners laying around, is there? If there is, you gotta tell me. A lot of these kids were also into anime, something that I was getting into at the time. 13 years old, that's way too early for anime. You gotta be 25 at least. Wait till that frontal cortex is developed. No, it's fine. Except the times that it's not. A lot of these kids were considered weird, and most of them were some form of queer. Some even could be considered neckbeards or legbeards, though most of the time they were lacking in hygiene because they were depressed and or poor. I don't think poor is really an acute... What's a bar of soap cost? Couple bucks? Come on now. Not because they simply didn't want to clean themselves. I think we're making up excuses for people you consider friends. It's not that hard to maintain decent hygiene. Unless, indeed, you are depressed. But that should motivate you to correct your mental state. Hygiene even more to pull yourself out of the depression, you see. Whatever. Anyway, Neckbeard definitely had the stereotypical Neckbeard way about him. He had poor hygiene, loved anime, made constant references to Loli and Boku no Piku and Nintendo. I'm saying all that wrong on purpose. I don't know what's going to make the YouTube robots get onto me, so play it safe. He also only wore clothes that has holes in them, even though his parents could definitely afford to get him new ones. Dude, he's just punk rock. What the fuck? Neckbeard was definitely someone that you could call a class clown. He was loud and goofy. I was quiet and a people pleaser. I suppose my tendencies could make someone think that I had a crush on them, even if I was just being what I perceived as nice. Niceness is vastly overrated, as you will soon see. But at 13, yeah, you're kind of nice to everybody. I didn't really start flying off the handle till 15, 16. Seems like Neckbeard's a bit ahead of the game. Neckbeard ended up having a crush on me. I didn't speak to him much, but he was a mutual friend, and I thought he was decently nice and funny. I was nice to him because my mother raised me to be polite, and I was terrified of people hating me, hence being a people pleaser. Terrible mistakes, but we live and learn. I didn't catch on to the fact that he had a crush on me for a little bit, due to me just being generally oblivious, and the fact that I had a massive crush on another friend. So yeah, leave that weird kid in the dust. I'm gonna go date this other weird kid. The first incident of creepiness from him was when he described to me and a friend in vivid detail why and how he got re-circumcised.
So what are we doing today? A little off the top?
Yeah, but leave a little up front so I have something to play with.
Sounds good.
Uh-oh. Phlemosis? Is that what they call it? This is weird, bro. He explained it really loud, and there were other people nearby that I could hear making fun of him, and I was more embarrassed for him than about the topic of conversation, although I was still definitely uncomfortable. Tell me what happened. What's the deal here? The doctor did a hack job or what? OP says, then he started asking me out. A lot. And I mean a lot. When I was walking to my mom's car, hey, you know I like you. Why won't you date me? At lunch, do you think you're too good for me? On the way to class, why won't you date me, OP? Not interested, not interested. Bathe yourself? Oh, still not interested. I was getting uncomfortable, and my opinion of him was beginning to sour at this point. I even lied to him and said that I wasn't attracted to men, in hopes that he would leave me alone. Well, that seems like a bridge too far to avoid confrontation. That's gonna lead to some other issues down the line. But I guess you'll find that out. On top of that, it didn't even work. So OP says he didn't leave me alone. He then started to verbally, intimately harass me, and some examples include asking if I had my V card, pestering me to show him my BDSM test results. I was peer pressured into even taking it at all, asking me if I had freckles in more intimate areas. I'm Irish and Welsh American, and I got lots of freckles. I answered with vague statements because I was too scared to tell him to go screw. Man, 13 years old, you're just getting kicked around left and right, you know? This is the universe sending you signs telling you that you need to grab control of the wheel. And I know that eventually you probably do, but I hope it happens in this story. I hope to see Neckbeard burn. Neckbeard found out about my history with carnal maltreatment and started pestering me for details. Who did it? When it happened? What did it feel like? Etc., etc. Dude, this is so far over the line. What the fuck? I need an adult for real. If not an adult, then at least, like, you got some male friends that you could go to. Maybe they beat the shit out of him. I don't know, man. That is hateable. He pretended to have a girlfriend named Peggy or Penny. It really changed depending on the day. Of course, this was conveniently announced the day after me and my friends were talking about the musical Hamilton at lunch. I believe he did this to try and make me jealous, and of course, nobody believed him. You don't know her. She goes to a different school in Canada. Also, what the hell does Hamilton have to do with it? Because he's black? I saw Hamilton. I'm totally woke now. Okay, cool. Attempting to bribe me into dating him with an N-word pass. Oh, goody. When I rejected him, he responded by saying that, I could say it anyway, in which I told him that I wouldn't because I'm not racist, and to give the pass to someone else. Please keep in mind that we were 13 and it was a big meme at the time for context. Yeah, wasn't it Too Mad who was selling N-word passes?
The N-Pass! Yo, you want to buy this? Buy this now, it'll never be here again.
He sold a couple too. And then he did a bunch of other terrible stuff and OD'd while playing Overwatch. Rip and piss, you human wasteoid.
That's alright.
I brought homemade cupcakes for my friends on Valentine's Day, and his feelings were hurt when I didn't give him one. I'm sure you avoided giving him one on purpose. I lied and told him that my mom only let me bring a certain amount to school, and that I would have brought him one if she'd let me, just because I didn't want him to be upset. I even told him that I would give him one of the cupcakes if someone didn't come to school that day. Nope, never happened. I'm throwing that cupcake in the trash. You don't get any of these! Because I don't like you. I find you repulsive. Lay it down nice and flat. Isn't that way better than lying? Problem solved. You're scared of people hating you, but like you kind of already hate this guy. So what? He also got dress coded for having a hole in the crotch of his basketball shorts. Begged me to lend him my hoodie to wrap around his waist to cover up. No, not that either. Go get some napkins from the cafeteria. Fuck out of my face. For reasons stated in example 4, which is the history with forcible intimacy, OP was extremely averse to touch. Even brushing against someone in the hallway was enough to send me into a fight or flight response for half an hour. Neckbeard then started to touch me. Examples include grabbing my hips from behind and pulling me against him, coming up behind me and covering my eyes, attempting to hug me, attempting to smell me. If our school allowed phones, I'm really sure he would have tried to take creep shots of me. Well, we're gonna have to dismiss the last one from evidence. Even if I agree, it's conjecture. But already he's crossed the line. Like, what the fuck, man? Did you not tell him not to do these things? Contact somebody who could help you out of this situation? I understand being 13 is like a very insular time. But I think even at 13, if I was being made this uncomfortable, I would have found a solution. A better solution than like, I don't know, just let him do it. That's really sad. Believe it or not, now is when the weird stuff starts. What? Neckbeard got a girlfriend. Someone I didn't know, but who had similar features to me. Redhead, freckles, similar build. We just had different eye colors. I had brown eyes and she had blue eyes. His harassment didn't even stop when he got that girlfriend. One day he comes up to me and says, "Hey OP, you're good at English, right? I have some writing I want you to read." Me, innocently thinking that it was something for school. "Sure, Neckbeard, I'd love to proofread for you." No, the line is weird, gross, leave me alone. That was when I had to read this very explicit material of him and another person filled to the brim with daddies and kittens galore. Barf. And double barf. The meme has taken on a life of its own. It's grown too far. We must strike it down before it gets any further. He claimed it was about his girlfriend, but the recipient, for lack of a better term, was left nameless and had brown eyes. I caught on, but didn't say anything to him. I fucking corrected his spelling mistakes. I want to beat myself up for this. I mean, lessons learned. Neckbeard, it's a gift for my girlfriend for our 1-month anniversary. OP, yeah, I'm sure she'll like it. I then skittered off and told my friends because I was very freaked out and uncomfortable. Oh good, you are telling some people. Maybe we could get it sorted. OP says I even started crying. My friends ended up telling his girlfriend and she broke up with Neckbeard. I mean, yeah, you could have done that yourself. But it's good to have friends, isn't it? Most of our friends started associating with Neckbeard less, even ones that were extremely close with him before. One, and only one, of my friends had actually physically told Neckbeard to screw off when I was scared to, making incidents of physical contact less frequent. I hugged that friend and cried because I was so grateful. I mean, yeah, all you had to do with that was ask. I'm sure there's people willing to go to bat for you. Neckbeard, of course, did not learn his lesson, because a month later he had written more smut about me and my crush. We were super good friends, so I don't think Neckbeard knew I had feelings for the guy. I just think that he was being a creep. Crush was super weirded out and told Neckbeard to burn it. Neckbeard claimed he did, but I don't know if he actually did. I mean, now he's planting seeds in your crush's head about you. Is he doing you a favor? Is he messing with you both? I'm not quite sure what to think. A bit after this me and my crush fan fiction, Neckbeard told me that he had followed me home, knew where I lived, and would be putting up cameras in my house the next time he was off from school. Yeah, go ahead, my dad's always home and has a shotgun. This was when I broke down and finally told my mom everything that was happening, aside from the fanfic part, because I thought I'd get in trouble for that, and my mom told me to go to the school counselor. Mom, what the fuck? Maybe it's like better as an intermediary because he also has access to Neckbeard. But you need to deal with your child's trauma regarding this. It probably took a lot for OP to come out and say, I need help with this, Mom. And Mom's like, I don't know, go talk to somebody else. It's not the move to make. When I did go to the counselor, though, it turns out that Neckbeard had a school restraining order on him from another student who he had done similar things to. The counselor, however, despite my crying and begging that she give me a restraining order against him, refused, stating that he was a good kid and that he just liked me. Okay, what does it take? Actual physical assault? Because on a long enough timeline, that's happening. School counselors suck at their fucking job, man. Every time. It's like the most useless position in existence. Don't debate me, I've done the research. I was fuming and told her off. I reiterated the fact that he was claiming that he was stalking me and threatening to commit crimes against me and possibly my family. She told me to write a letter to him, telling him how I felt. You're the worst. OP, left without recourse, did just that and received a letter back. I'm not usually like this. There's just something about you that makes me act this way. I'm so sorry I made you uncomfortable. Basically, he was saying that this harassment was my fault. Yeah, I can't help it. It's just the fro moms. I smell them and I start to get big. What? I met with the counselor again and told her that if he touched me again, my mom gave me permission to quote-unquote throat punch him, and that I would be acting on it. Wow, I guess all OP needed was permission, and then we go from 0 to 100 really fast. He ended up keeping his distance from me. Some harassment continued until I got a boyfriend the month before school ended. Harassment started not long after school started, because of course, my no wasn't enough. At least until someone else had laid claim to me. Yeah, that's really scuzzy. Makes me feel bad when dudes do stuff like that. He's just a useless little worm, and he knows it. You should ask your boyfriend if he wants to beat him up regardless, though. Before he dated, there was this guy. Can you punch him? I'd be like, yeah, sure, babe. TLDR, 13-year-old Neckbeard harasses me verbally and physically for an entire school year, makes me read intimate fan fiction of myself and him, threatens to stalk me and put up cameras in my home. School staff refuses to help me, makes me write him a letter like we're 5 years old, and he responds by blaming me for causing his eyes to lust, and continues to verbally harass me until I got a partner. I really hate this kid. And the most tragic part of the story was, he just slips off into the night, finding another target. Feels bad, man. OP did try to take action, but apparently every adult in their life is just completely useless for some reason. Have you considered telling Neckbeard's mother, informing her of the monster that she raised? I find that tends to work pretty well. But I don't know, I guess sometimes just getting him to leave you alone is enough. Not enough for me. I want to see him burn. I need something to wash the taste out of my mouth. So let's try this one. My Neckbeard hero. An oft-forgotten reminder that not all neckbeards are bad people. Some people are just, they got nerdy interests. You can't judge a book by its cover. I will, however, judge you immediately by your actions. As it should be. OP says, I am the Miss Frizzle-looking teacher to be. I have a job lined up now. Oh, hell yeah, did you buy the magic school bus yet? Take those kids on a trip to see an angry anus.
What's that?
Girl, that's a booty hole.
So, I was browsing the Pokemon card section, minding my own business and searching for some cool figure for my soon-to-be classroom when I noticed a guy lurking around following me. I guess that's the cool part about a classroom is you can kind of decorate it, but then you paid money for a figurine that inevitably some kid is going to break or steal. How old are the kids? Doesn't matter, I don't trust them. OP says the guy that was following me was giving off some seriously creepy vibes, staring at me and making me feel incredibly uncomfortable. I tried to ignore it at first, but his behavior became increasingly unsettling. I mean, you're in a public place, just call him out. Turn around and be like, are you following me? Get away! Somebody call the cops, this guy's following me! And then he'll run away. Does cause a bit of a scene though. Not as much as shooting him in the chest like we did with Uncle Sonic. So I don't know, it's really more of a sliding scale. Just as I was about to leave the aisle and head to the counter, this guy starts following me again, making inappropriate comments about my appearance and invading my personal space. I was getting pretty freaked out, not knowing how to handle this situation. Start screaming, make yourself look big and scary! Tell him your boyfriend's waiting outside! Then out of nowhere, an unlikely hero emerged. A neckbeard, Aaron, sporting a fedora and a Trogdor the Burninator t-shirt.
Trogdor! Burninating the countryside.
I fucking love Strong Band. So Trogdor, I know his name's Aaron, but I'm gonna call him Trogdor, stepped in between me and the creep, giving him the most intimidating glare I've ever seen. He calmly asked the guy to back off and reminded him that this place was for everyone to enjoy their hobbies in peace. Dude, I love it already. Not really that confrontational, just like a statement of fact. There might be some subtext of, I'm gonna kick the shit out of you if you don't comply, but I think that's a good way to go. To my surprise, the Neckbeard displayed an impressive knowledge of Pokemon cards. Why is that surprising? And began discussing the latest sets and strategies with me. It was like we were instant best friends. He totally distracted the creepy guy and made him lose interest in me, focusing his attention instead on the Neckbeard's vast knowledge of geek culture. And the fact that he was a dude probably didn't hurt too much. But yeah, smooth moves for real. We spent the next hour chatting about our favorite Pokemans, sharing stories about our funniest card pulls, and even engaging in a friendly battle with our decks. It was an absolute blast, and I completely forgot about the creepy encounter that had initially put me on edge. Aw, it's so good. I love when people can have a good experience at the game shop. You never hear about the good experiences. Most of my experiences have been good, but I guess people really only want to take a look at the baddies. I'm sure I'll find that out when I look at the retention for this video and just plummets on the last story. Oh well, I tried, what can you do? When it was time for me to leave, Trogdor walked me to my car, ensuring my safety until I was securely inside. We traded numbers so I could ask more questions, and he bid me farewell with a tip of his fedora and a genuinely kind smile, assuming that he would always be around if I needed a friend to hang out or geek out with. I made a friend. So, to the neckbeard who saved me at the comic shop, thank you from the bottom of my heart. Update no one asked for, we're dating. Oh, snap. Well, that went exceedingly well for him. You think if the creeper went in that direction and tried to treat her like a human being, then maybe he would have had a chance as well? Oh? But no, definitely be as weird as fucking possible about it. Stalk her around the game shop. Maybe he was trying to work up the courage to say something. Pulling an Elliot Rodgers, just like, I can't believe she doesn't talk to me. Yeah. Try saying hello first or something. You're infuriating. All you're doing is weirding everybody out, okay? Anyway, that's it for this episode, friends. I hope you enjoyed it. Join up on the Patreon or the YouTube memberships if you would. That extra money every month is really saving my bacon right now. I'm for real about it. I know the times is tough, and if you can't afford to donate, that's cool. I'm happy to make the content for you. I'm happy to see you consuming it. And I hope that you will also consume the next one. Until then, I'd like to remind you that you are loved, you are worthy, you definitely deserve it, and I will see you in the next one. So until then, my friends, bye-bye.